Welcome and hello, Tech Training Bill here. Many of you have been in my Filr classes over the last couple of weeks, and as a result of those classes have sent me questions and emails, and thank you for that, by the way. But as a result of all of those emails, it's become fairly apparent to me that I didn't do a good job discussing or explaining the ad hoc storage area, the local storage area. And I think a lot of the confusion comes from some of the slides that seem to indicate that something different. So let's go take a look at exactly what it is. Here's our system as we have it installed. We've provisioned it with our users from the eDirectory, the ever lovely but somewhat exotic Kitty Chow. And I have granted Kitty personal storage space in the system. And this storage space exists on the Filr system itself. And you do that one of two ways. The way I did it was to click personal storage there, and that brings up a little box, and check that box. Now that enables personal storage for everybody, all of the provisioned users. The other way to do it would be to go to the user accounts and find an individual user like Kitty and go to their personal settings and set it within there. You can either enable or disable or use the global settings, and that's what we're doing here. We're using the global settings for Kitty. So let's log out as admin and log in as Ms. Chow. K. Chow, if you remember correctly. And we'll sign in. Let's see what the changes are to her home files, or her My Files home directory area. Now, instead of the home directory being directly under the My Files, you can see it's in a folder on its own referred to as home. And now these are the files from her home directory on the file server. This other area out here, outside of that folder, is the ad hoc, is the local storage. And in here you can see she has one file right at the root there, and she's created a directory called My Projects, and she's put a file in there. Let's find out where that storage is. So she can add files, she can create new folders, all here under the My Files area. And that is, again, on the Filr appliance itself. The confusion probably comes from one of the slides, like I was saying. Initially, the idea was to have all of this storage allow the administrators to gather up storage from a number of places and conglomerate it together and present that to the users as the My Files or the personal storage area. As a result, what actually is going to happen in the first customer ship, we weren't able to actually accomplish that. So what we are doing is making space available on that second drive. So let's go look at our Filr system. Here's our Filr system. I have logged into our Filr system as root. Let's CD back to the root of the directory, and we'll do an clear some of that out, and let's just do an ls. And notice that we have a number of files here, but we have one called VA storage. So if we go and we do a mount here, we can see that the SCSI device B, partition 1, so SDB1, is being mounted there in that directory called VA storage. So that's our second drive. It's right there in VA storage. So let's see what's actually in VA storage. Let's CD to VA storage. And do an ls there. And you can see there's a couple of directories. There's a MySQL, there's a search, there's a Filr, there's a Ganglia. The MySQL and the search, that's our database and our Lucerne search engine. The Filr is our actual appliance itself. So we can go into the Filr directory there, and you'll have all of these on yours if you were to log in and start looking at the various file structure. So let's log in, or let's CD into Filr and see what's in there. And we'll do an ls, and we can see that there's some files there. There's the extensions, the conf, and the one that's of importance to us is the file repository. Those others will be there regardless of whether you have enabled personal storage. That file repository will only show up under two circumstances, or if two things are true. One, you've enabled personal storage, and two, people have taken advantage of that. So let's go in there to the file repository and see what's in there. And if we go in there and rerun an ls, we'll see that there's this kblink directory. And under the kblink directory is a number, typically 0. And from that point on down, it looks just like, or for all the world, like the file storage in GroupWise or the file storage in Vibe. And if we eventually go all the way down through the various files, underneath that, we'll find the name of one of the files that is being stored in that area. And when you VI that file, you can see that that file is just stored as a blob file. It's not clear text. You can't read it. So it's relatively secure within the system. Anyway, I hope this answers some of the questions as to where that personal storage is and how it gets there. Keep those cards and letters and messages coming in. I really enjoy getting them. I really enjoy looking up these answers for you. I hope this has answered some of your questions. If it hasn't, let me know. We can take another shot at it. And until then, I remain Bill Lambert at Tech Training Bill, B.I. Lambert at Novell.com.